Hi, I'm Akeem Hoyle, and welcome to this Bravo and QuickBooks Online Setup tutorial. Today, I'll guide you through the initial steps to get your QuickBooks and Bravo account ready for integration. Let's dive right in. So to begin, once you're logged into Bravo, we'll head over to System Configuration, and then on the left tab, we're going to click on Company. From there, we'll select General Ledger Accounts. Now, we're also going to log into our QuickBooks. In this case, we're using QuickBooks Online, and select our chart of accounts. Now, in Bravo, I'm just going to quickly explain. You'll notice here that the account number section has a star store star. This is for multi-chain stores. So if you have multiple stores here on the left, it means that you will need to apply that star store star. If you don't have multiple stores on the left, you can go along without the star store star entered. So how the star store star works, it actually grabs the GL number for each location, generating a separate account for that location in Bravo. So this single line here will work for many stores because of that star store star. And what it does is grabs the GL number that we can find on the information tab for that store. And you can go ahead and modify that to whatever number you want to use or alphanumeric characters. You have up to 10 characters that you can use. So back on the general ledger, let's begin mapping these accounts. So before we actually dive further into this, I'm going to recommend an article to follow along with. The Solution Center, it is called Accounting Chart of Accounts. And you can easily find it by searching chart, and it will be the first article that comes up, Accounting Chart of Accounts. I'll be referring to this throughout the guide. So the first account here is called Bad Debt, Restitution, and Bankruptcy. And we can see here the type of account is an income account or revenue. And the notes here explains that this account is used for a fee, payments toward loans after expiration. So back in Bravo, we can now name this account. You can use an account number or the actual name. So in your QuickBooks, you have the option to use a number, which we'll find over here. I am not using a number for now, but you can go ahead and use a number or the name. I'll be using the name in this guide. So in your QuickBooks, what we're going to do is go ahead and enter the account name. So I've already filled this out, right? I'm going to go through it for you. So what we need to do here is enter account name. And then here I want space between my star store star. So I'm putting a space there. And what I can use is the sample column to see how it actually turns out for each account. The sample column only refers to the first store. So in our QuickBooks, I've already created that account. So you'll notice here that I have it in all uppercase, and in here I have it in uppercase. It doesn't matter. It can be lowercase or uppercase. What matters are the space and the characters that are used. So use your sample column as a guide. The chart of accounts has here, it has to be an income account. Here I have it set up as an income account. And because I have 3 different stores that I'm working with, I created 3 different accounts. I have my KAH store, my RTL store, and I have my TST store. For me to grab all those stores, I just need to enter the star store star where I need the GL number to appear either in front or behind the account number. So the next account that we're going to look at are the bank tenders, right? So these are all income accounts, and they allow you to track each tender by a separate account. In most cases, it would not be like that. For you, possibly that you would have one account tracking everything that comes in. Then yours would look like this, and that is perfectly fine. I'm going to keep it like this for now to track each tender. In my QuickBooks, what I'll need to do is to create that account. I've created some already, as you notice here. I have bank, cash, RTL, and TST. I need to make one for, so I'm going to modify the account name. And as I mentioned before, it doesn't care about upper or lowercase. And then we hit save. Also have an Amex account to track Amex payments. I have an extra account here. I'm just going to modify to create for Amex. Then we hit save. In your case, you would need to create the account for each location. To match what you have in your QuickBooks. The next thing we have here is bank cash withdrawn. Usually this account is disabled, right? In this case, I have it enabled. It's important to note what this is used for. This is also an asset account. It's a tender. This account reverts to using bank cash. Most users will want this disabled. So what this account does is for every deposit made to the store, it will withdraw that amount from your bank cash. If it is enabled, it will separate that line for you. So you can track all bank to safe transfers in Bravo. The next account here is our buy accounts. These accounts are meant to track all purchases from a customer, what we would call buy tickets. You'll notice on the left we have buy A goods, B goods, firearms, raw material, and scrap. What that means is you are able to track each category individually as you need. I would create an account to track each category down the line as you see. In my case, I'm going to keep it simple for you and have one account that is tracking everything. Alright, so we have buys star store star. The next list of accounts are meant to track expenses. These expenses are found in your cash disbursements. What that means, if an expense does not affect your till or cash drawer, we don't recommend putting it in Bravo. Here you can actually modify the name of that expense on the left, and you'd put your account that you have in Bravo or QuickBooks in here. So to simply create one here, let's say we're creating advertisements and expense. I can right click this, copy it if I haven't already created it, and I'll just double check to see. I already have an expense account here that I'm just going to go ahead and rename. We're going to replace the star store star with the account, and it's already pointing to advertising and promotional. Hit save. And we can go ahead and copy this and let's create an additional account for RTL and one more account for TST. Awesome. Now we head back to Bravo and we can create these as we need them. And remember, you can always rename them as you need. So the list of expenses start here and end right here at cash in for buys in our case. The next account here is cash disbursement for lost or damaged loans. This is an expense account for insurance purposes where you would pay out to the customer if the loan was lost or damaged under your care. Alright. We can right click here and copy that if we need to create the account. In my case, I already have it created and I have one for KH, RTL, and TST. Our next accounts are cost of goods sold, and as mentioned before, you have the option of tracking each by category. For now, I'm just going to track them all under one single account. Cost of goods sold. And here I have my cost of goods for each account. I also have some additional account here, and we just leave those for now. If you want to go ahead and make an account inactive, you can do so if you need to. So our next account is the cash on hand. This tracks both the till and the safe. This is the total cash on hand in the store. It's important to separate the cash on hand from your bank tender and your sales accounts. Our next account is for inter-store payments. This is meant for tracking payments between locations. And one thing to note, if it says inter-store, then what you'll do is add an X to the star store star. Our next account is for consignment payable. We have this is a liability account, and we can double check that just to make sure by reverting to our chart of accounts. And I find it very easy to just hold Control F and then type in what we're looking for. So right away we see it's a liability account and it's meant for paying amounts due to a customer. So we also have some more accounts here, interstore cash transfers. If you're moving cash from one location to the other, you would enter that account and add the X for the star store star. We have donations here, which is an expense, and then we have our loan interest, which is income, and then now we have inventory. This tracks all your inventory value. And as mentioned before, you can track it by category. And for inventory adjustments, you can point it back to an inventory account. This is for any adjustments to the cost of your inventory. Maybe it's increasing or decreasing based on someone modifying the cost of a single item or multiple items. Next, we have our inventory in transit. This is for moving items between locations. So you may be wondering at this time, I may not be using some of these accounts. What should I do? Well, at that point, you can leave the name that is there, or you can pretty much put an X there or an NA. For now, I'm going to recommend just going ahead and re-entering the name on the left. Inventory in transit, picking up where we left off, this is for tracking any item being transferred to and from locations. And it's also meant for tracking items that are transferred to a vendor or maybe received back from a vendor for warranties. Then we have our item fee, and this can be any fee that you collect. We have layaway restocking fee, layaway holding. This is meant for deposits and payments, and it is a liability account. These next two accounts, I'll highlight them, layaway credit expiration and store credit expiration. This is meant to track any credit that is expired from your store. So you have configured your credit to expire, and this is what will track that amount. Then we have loan principal. So cool thing about loan principal, it can either be an asset or a liability. For me, I currently have it as an asset. Moving along, now we have our expired layaway credit. Um, if you have layaways that have expired and you collect credit for the payment so far, this is where you can track them here. And then we have layaways. This will track your layaways. It's important to note that this must be separated from your inventory account here, just to not cause any credit and debit imbalance. From this area we have miscellaneous account all the way to this last checkbox here, you'll notice that they're all named miscellaneous 1 all the way to miscellaneous 20. In case you need an additional account, you can go ahead and modify that account name on the left and then add your account on the right. So these accounts are really used for specific tasks like fees, vendor. So if we head back to one of the stores and click on transaction, and then we click on services and fees, on the services and fees, we may have a whole bunch of fees like you see here. We're able to point one of these fees to one of our miscellaneous accounts to track it individually. And if we happen to create our own tender, like myself here, we can point it to our own GL key number here. Alright. So back to the general ledger tab, catching up where we left off, we have purchase order holding. So this account is for your vendor purchases or purchases of new items. So cost of those items will go here, and this account is a liability account. The next one is our police confiscate. This is an expense. Then we have gift card, store credit. They are both liability. And then we have our shipping income. And then we have shrinkage. So these are for write-offs. For those of us who sell firearms, we have our gun sale holding, which is for firearm payments, deposits. There's a liability until the firearm is actually picked up. Then it moves over to our sale account. Here we have the ability to track non-taxable and taxable sales and also your sales tax. So skipping these accounts that says VAT, surplus, and surplus inventory returned, these are all meant for UK stores. If you're a UK store, you go ahead and enable these and fill them out. The next three accounts are services. So these are income for specific services, jewelry repairs, merchandise repairs, and warranties. Then we have our loan ticket fees, loan ticket miscellaneous charges, and I'm tracking it with loan ticket fees. And these are income. Our last few accounts, and I'll skip over the UK ones for now, is a variance short over. So this is for tracking any variance in your closing of the store. So heading back to our handy article here, you notice that this is an expense account and it says over short cash amounts. So this is for over shorts in your till or cash drawer. And then we have repair holding, which is for repair payments and deposits. So now that we've have all this filled out and we've completed setting up our QuickBooks, next thing we'll need to do is to add an app to our QuickBooks Online called Bulk Import Excel or Sassant. And you can find the app by clicking this section here and then go to Apps Overview. And then you can find the app here by typing bulk import or Sassant. Once you've done that, you go ahead and click on it and follow the instructions to integrate it. Once that's done, you should be able to sign up, and this is the first screen that you'll see. So on the right, the quick access, you can go to import, or you can click on new import over here, and we'll leave it on here for now. So back in Bravo, we've completed all our accounts. We've completed setting them all up. So the next thing to do is to head over to Post to Accounting from the dashboard. And at the top right corner, we're going to select the format. So if you're using QuickBooks 2018 desktop and older, you select one of the formats here. In the case of a single store or single company in QuickBooks, you'll select QuickBooks IIF. For multiple stores, you'll select QuickBooks IIF per store. For 2019 and newer, you'll select 2019 IIF for a single store or a single company in QuickBooks. And then for multiple stores, you select 2019 IIF per store. And in our case, we're using QuickBooks Online, so we'll select QuickBooks Online with Sassant. Now, what we need to do is to click Post right here, and that will generate our exported file and prompt us to save it. So create a folder, and then we can save all those exports in a folder. Bear in mind, you can always come back here to re-export it, and for any changes that you make, you'll just need to re-export it. The next step is to select Journal Entry in Sassant, and now it prompts us to drag and drop or browse. So whichever one is easier for you. I like to drag and drop. So we'll select our file here, and I'll just drag it over and drop it. So in this case now we're going through what they call a review, and all you need to do is follow along, click review. Here you can actually see the accounts being uploaded. This is the column that should match your accounts, so you can actually preview what is about to hit your QuickBooks data. And then now we're going to click upload. So it'll take a few seconds or more depending on the size of the journal entry. Alright, so now we've actually successfully uploaded our journal entry.